Hello, my name is Charlotte Reeves, and this is my Interpersonal Communication Project, HSCO 508 for Liberty University. And at the end of each slide, when it's time to click to the next one, I'm going to say the word next. Next. What is communication? Communication, per Stewart, is the continuous, complex, and collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. It's continuous because we're never going to stop figuring it out, and it's complex because it's verbal and nonverbal, and it's collaborative because it involves other people. Next, our class is called interpersonal communication, and the definition of that is the kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in the way so that they maximize the personal. There's a direct link between the quality of your life and the quality of your communication, and I've found that to be true in my own life. For example, some of the consequences per Vertino that can be happen whenever you have ineffective interpersonal communication are chaos, confusion, fear, wasted resources, stuff like that. Types of communication. Well, primarily verbal conversation is the written word. Mixed is vocal pacing, a pause, silence. Primarily nonverbal communication is gestures, eye contact, facial expressions, touch, and space. Which Stewart recommended these things be studied all together as one system because they're usually happening simultaneously. Next, overarching goals. My overarching goals are to become a better listener, for one, stop trying to solve everyone's problem, and Peterson called this listening without advising. Um, Focus more on the speaker and, stop daydreaming and going off on my own thoughts and in my own world, and stop the ritual listening, which is basically waiting for the speaker to be finished, just hurry up and finish so that you can just put your 2 cents worth in and say your little point or tell your story, which is really nothing to do with the speakers. Next, enlarging the conversation. That is keeping the conversation going. It is not over, the conversation that is, not over just because one person stopped talking. And to keep it going, we all do that very differently. And you can learn a lot from it if you're able to be successful at that. Next, and ways that I can enlarge the conversation is listen and focus on the speaker. Do not come to a conclusion before the speaker is finished. Do not interrupt with my own stories. And be patient with the speaker. Next, my background. I grew up in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, which is a very small town, like on the Andy Griffith Show. My parents were great. They were great communicators, and we were a close family. I have a younger brother. I was in a car accident at age 16. I had a head injury, a traumatic brain injury. I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and the area I damaged was the speech area. So I do have some, experience in not being able to say things you need and problem with communication because I woke up at age 16 not knowing words and getting them mixed up and having to relearn a lot of things. And I still have trouble sometimes. I just blank out. But I watched that film that we had. It was on YouTube. It was a talk by Amy Cuddy, and she had some of this same incidences, and we've both been blessed to be where we are today. And I have 2 beautiful children, Kelsey, who's 8, and Jonathan, who's 16. And Kelsey's had some speech problems, and I've had to deal with that, along the way, which I've learned a lot throughout it all. Next, we're going to talk about the DISC profile. For time's sake, I'm just going to mention a few. The D is active, task-oriented, is dominating, directing, demanding. S, passive, people-oriented, is stable, shy, submissive. I, active people oriented is inspiring, impressing, interactive. And C, passive task oriented is calculating, compliant, careful. Next, my behavioral blend, this is me. There's two forms of it, which is the real me, is DIC, which is dominant, inspiring, cautious, active and task orientation, handles pressure well, not sweet or soft. Everything I learned about me wasn't great. And goal oriented. And my background in behavioral blend, I think, has allowed me to be able to talk to any kind of person. I don't have any problem with that, and I never have. Class, age, gender, it doesn't matter. And that's enlarged my life and broadened my horizons because of that. Next, my behavioral blend continued. This is expected of me, DIC. This is what I think other people expect of me. And mine were about the same, which means I'm the same all the time, which I believe that to be true. Um, I did take the Queendom self assessment, and I scored a 96. And they suggested that I was extremely adept to interpreting other people's words and actions. So, potential barriers. I do not let the speaker finish. I interrupt with my own thoughts. And these are things that can get in the way of you being a great communicator. Barriers to that. I'm always thinking ahead of what I will say next, like two or three steps at least, until where I'm forming my own story. I daydream when I'm bored with the speaker or the topic. Next, potential barrier solutions. Do not interrupt the speaker unless it is to clarify the points the speaker's made. Then they'll know that you're paying attention. Concentrate on what the speaker is saying at the moment. Take notes while the speaker is talking and practice focusing. Next, noise pollution. Okay, you have two kinds of noise pollution. You have internal and external. Internal noise pollution is stuff like you can't concentrate because you're tired or hungry, or you're thinking about your own problems or bills that have to be paid or some kind of situation you have. And biased listening. You can let your negative experiences of the past come into your present situations. Next, internal noise pollution solutions. Completely focus on the speaker again. That's going to be something that you've heard a lot of times during this presentation. Reschedule the meeting to another time. If you are feeling bad, so it won't be a bad outcome, ask them if there's some other time that you can do it. Be in the here and now of the speaker, just right with them at all times. Next, external noise pollution. That's things such as you can hear a lot of traffic in the background or loud trucks, and it's distracting you. The temperature in the room is either way too hot or way too cold. Um, it's an uncomfortable setting. For some reason, you don't like it where you are. Those are types of external noise pollutions. And things you can do to cure that is make your appointment with your speaker in a setting that's comfortable for you both. Uh, Ask your speaker or your other partner if there's something you can get for them, water or something else. Choose a time during the day when you probably will have the least interruptions, where the phone's ringing or emergency situations or something happening. Those type things. Try to plan ahead. Next, and my action plan to become a better interpersonal communicator is I will practice focusing my attention on the speaker. I will not interrupt the speaker unless it is to clarify their points, and that way she'll know I'm paying attention. I will not feel I have to give a solution for every problem that is presented to me, um, or formulate answers before the speaker's finished. I will make the setting appropriate for the conversation, um, comfortable and quiet, for example. And nonverbal communication, I have studied, is an important aspect of our conversation. I've learned that during this class. And that's also through myths that I read. Therefore, I will work on my nonverbal communication. And I wanted to say thank you to Professor Pinkston. You have been a blessing. I have really enjoyed your class, and your continuous words to us, encouragement. That's just been wonderful, and I just think you're a great teacher, a great professor. Merry Christmas. Thank you.